Hey, True Believers England teen here, Santa teen here, and it's time for the Gabbies. We already did the nominations. We've got them. This is it right here. It's time for you to vote. And that's the way it is. I mean, you guys picked the nominations, or we all did, and now we all vote for them. I love this time of year. And if you never knew how this came about, or if you're brand new to the channel, my brother used to be a part of this, and we were talking, and we said, you know what? We don't have a Razzies for comic books, and I think that is a crime. We need to fix that. So we vote for the worst comic books of the year. Easy peasy. We got some... We got different topics, 17, because I came up with a new one this time around, and it's pretty simple. I'm going to put all of the categories and all of the nominations in the description below. You just copy, paste, erase the ones you're not choosing to leave the ones you are. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right, with all that aside, let's get this party started. First category is Fall from Grace comic book creator. Now, this is somebody who's been doing such a great job, but just recently, maybe just this year, for some reason, has been taking a nosedive. So, Chip Zdarsky for Daredevil, Christopher Priest for his work with Vampirella, Donny Cates for Venom, Geoff Johns with the Three Jokers, and Jonathan Hickman for X-Men. You remember that comic book character you used to love, but nowadays it just seems like they're just not writing it right. And it just bothers you. You want to continue, but you just can't because the creators do not seem to find the voice. Well, this is Fall from Grace comic book character. And the nominees are Batman, Iron Man, Jonathan Kent, Moon Knight, and Professor Xavier. This one is self-explanatory, most overused character of 2020. And the nominees are Batman, Captain Marvel, the Batman Who Laughs, the Joker, and Venom. Next up, we're talking about the worst event comic. This has to have a central comic book as well as satellite comics to count as an event. And the nominees are Empyre from Marvel Comics, Iron Man 2020 from Marvel Comics, X of Swords from Marvel Comics, and Year of a Villain from DC Comics. Worst storyline could be either a single storyline going through a single title, or it's similar to a crossover but only within one family of books. And the nominees are Sins Rising from The Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers Age of Konshu, Batman The Joker War, and X of Swords. Yeah, it made both lists. Here are the nominees for Worst Comic Book Movie of 2020. Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey, Deathstroke Knights and Dragons, the movie, The New Mutants, Bloodshot, and Superman Red Sun. Next up is the nominations for Worst Graphic Novel One-Shot Single Issue Story. Aqualad, You Brought Me the Ocean. Batgirl number 50. Marvel Voices, Indigenous Voices number 1. The Immortal She-Hulk number 1. The Other History of the DC Universe starring Black Lightning. Here are the nominees for Worst Miniseries. This counts as a series who had a planned shortened ending. Alienated from Boom Studios, James Bond from Dynamite, Overwatch from Dark Horse Comics, Ignited from Human Comics or something, you know, the one with Mark Waid and Kwanzaa, and Strange Adventures from DC Comics. Here are the nominees for Worst Ongoing Series of 2020. Captain Marvel from Marvel Comics, Iron Man from Marvel Comics, Legion of Superheroes from DC Comics, Superman from DC Comics, and the X-Men from Jonathan Hickman Marvel Comics. Here are the nominees for Worst Overall Publisher of 2020. DC Comics, Vault Comics, Humanity Comics, Millar World, and Marvel Comics. Here are the nominees for Worst Artist of 2020. Daniel Warren Johnson for Wonder Woman, Dead Earth. Greg Land for Symbiote Spider-Man. John Romita Jr. for Action Comics. Lee Garbett for Captain Marvel. And Riley Rossmo for Harley Quinn, Black and White, and Red. Next up, we have the nominations for the Worst Comic Book Writer of 2020. Greg Rucka for Lois Lane. J.J. Abrams and Son for Spider-Man. Kelly Thompson for Captain Marvel. Brian Michael Bendis for his work on Superman. Tom King for Strange Adventures. Here are the nominees for Worst Independent Comic Book of 2020. Alienated by Simon Spurrier and Chris Wildgoose. Crossover by Donny Cates. Ignited by Mark Waid and Kwanzaa. Kwanzaa or Kwanzaa? James Bond by Vita Ayala. Liquid by Maria Lovett. Here are the nominees for Worst Marvel Comic Book of 2020. Captain America by Ta-Nehisi Coates and Leonard Kirk. The X-Men by Jonathan Hickman. The Immortal She-Hulk by Al Ewing and John Davis Hunt. Marvel Voices Indigenous Voices written and drawn by various American Indian writers and artists. Iron Man 2020, once again, written by and drawn by various artists and writers. Here are the nominees for Worst DC Comic Book. You Brought Me the Ocean by Alex Sanchez and Julie Moreau. Batgirl number 50 by Cecil Castellucci. Legion of Superheroes by Brian Michael Bendis. The Other History of the DC Universe by John Ridley. And Superman by Brian Michael Bendis. Have you ever noticed some artists and writers just tend to keep getting jobs and better jobs, even though they seem to have no real artistic talent or they seem to be hurting the books that they're on? Well, this is the Failing Upward Award to celebrate that particular fact. Brian Michael Bendis. Mariko Tamaki. Riley Rossmo. Vita Ayala. And Zoe Quinn. Okay, kids, the moment you're waiting for. No matter if it's DC, Marvel, an independent, a miniseries, a one-shot, a single issue of an ongoing series, it doesn't matter. These are the nominations for overall the worst comic book of 2020. Batgirl number 50 by Cecil Castellucci. Marvel's Voices, Indigenous Voices by miscellaneous American Indian artists and writers. Captain America by Ta-Nehisi Coates. Ignited by Mark Waid and Kwanzaa. And Iron Man 2020, also written and drawn by various artists and writers. So there you go, gang. Those are the nominations. Once again, I'm going to have them listed in the description below. Just copy and paste into the comment section and erase the ones you're not voting for. It's easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And we will be doing this Sunday. This coming Sunday. What is this? The 16th, and it's Wednesday, so that'd be 17th, 18th, 19th, the 20th of Sunday at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. 9 o'clock-ish. I like Moranya's joke about EST standing for Englantine Standard Time, but there you go, gang. Please share this out so we get more and more votes. The more the merrier. It actually makes it more exciting. And I can't wait to see who you vote for. I know who I'm going to vote for. I'm going to wait a little bit, let you guys get in a couple of votes, and then I'm going to put mine in. And I can't wait. Can't wait to see who you guys vote for. This is going to be so exciting. Okay, I was just told by my producer, me, that I am about 30 seconds short. So I'm going to try to expand. Look, I love the GABBY Awards. I like the Spirit Awards. We're going to do that a little bit different. We're going to have a conversation about the Spirit Awards because, unfortunately, I feel a lot of people, myself included to a certain extent, are not so confident in this year's comics. The direction things are going in. It might get worse next year. And so we're going to be doing it a little bit different, and we are going to be talking about, we're going to have our Spirit Awards, but we'll be a little bit different. It'll be more of a conversation where maybe I'll invite people on. We'll come up with the topic, and then we'll talk about it as we go. And I think that might actually end up being a lot of fun. So keep an eye out for that, and we'll have that for you as well, as soon as freaking possible, I guess. Alrighty, I see the time's ready, so here's the credits with a little bit of Christmas music thrown in.